Coming up on the Empowered Woman podcast.
How can we provide value to the enterprise in a world where so much is being taken from the enterprise? How can we provide value, and how can we do that fast? And in a fast moving world of AI, it's really hard to cut through the noise and understand what's different out there. And our approach I find to be fundamentally different.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on visibility strategies for women entrepreneurs. If you want to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more to make an impact with your voice in business, you're in the right place. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Marcia Spurk, and I'm your host, professional singer and visibility strategist. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode. Hi, Jacquelyn. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited for us to chat and to hear more about your business and your journey. Why don't you tell us who you are and what you do?
My name is Jacquelyn Goldberg. I am the VP of Global Sales here at Unframe. We are an AI managed delivery platform, and excited to speak with you.
Yes. Well, I want to hear the backstory. Before Unframe, how did you get to this line of work? And then obviously sharing more about the company and the business.
Sure. So I have been in venture-backed tech sales most of my career. I always joke glutton for punishment on that one. But I spent the better part of 10 years in MarTech, and then about 5 years ago made the leap into AI. And everything I've done has been in sales, and over the last decade it has been in leadership as well.
I love that. Well, tell me more about being a woman in a very male dominant industry.
It's funny. It's a shame. We definitely need more women. I try to recruit more women all the time and struggle. There's not enough. The good ones are loyal and they don't leave, right?
Yeah.
So we as women are loyal. And so it's been candidly in the beginning, I never really noticed the difference, I think, until perhaps I got older. And now I think it's a secret weapon. Where there are things perhaps, especially being a mother now, that like I can pick up on that others maybe can't, and
Mhm.
add a little bit of change to the way of thinking and approaching things. But um, I think it's become my normal, and so sometimes I don't know the difference, and just only wish that there were more.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. It's all you know.
yeah.
So that's awesome. I love that. Well, and we talk a lot about women finding a place at the table, and you, we could say, have been the one that's created the table. Tell us more about, pioneering things and or maybe the support along the way. Was it more so, finding the right community, people to support you?
It's interesting. Growing up, I'm the oldest of two girls.
Okay.
So my father was a sales executive, and the way that he raised us, I didn't know the difference, I think, of
Mm.
my sex. Whereby he invested a lot in my sister and I around our career, our aspirations. As an example, like practicing for my bat mitzvah, like he like had a camcorder and a full length mirror next to it, and like we were a high achieving family, and it didn't matter if we were a boy or a girl.
Uh-huh.
And as I got older, and he really pushed me to find my life's work, because we were such a high achieving family, like it was always like I wanted to work. And then he introduced me to so many people to help find internships, as an example. I know I'm very privileged, and to have had a father to be so helpful.
Mhm.
As I got older and the Me Too movement came out, it made me pause and reflect on my career and role models, and I realized I did not have very many female role models. Those people
Mm.
my father had connected me with were all men who
Yeah.
worked very hard to help me in my career. There were many. I had uncles and cousins, and um, they were all very instrumental in helping me and would do
Hmm.
anything for me. So again, I didn't notice the difference. I
Hmm.
think when I when I was in my early 30s, I was going through a tough time at work and needed an executive coach. I felt like that would be like really helpful for me. And there was a woman who was an advisor at one of our startups who I really latched onto and started seeing as more of a female mentor who connected me to a female executive coach. And around the same time, I joined Chief, which is a women's executive networking group. And I joined right as Chief was starting in 2019. And not only was it wonderful to connect me to so many women, but in as part of being a member of Chief, you get what at the time you called a core group, and you have a coach and a group of women that are in a similar stage of life and career as you. And I still to this day have that same core group, and we meet
Oh,
every
nice.
single month. And so it's been 7 years of that. So I think I realized how important it was to start cultivating those female
Mm-hmm.
relationships. And it's so, so, so important for the phase that I am in my career. So that was a very long answer
Oh, that was
to
great.
your question, but I think it took me a while to understand the need.
Mm-hmm.
Chief was a really big help in getting me there because it's really hard to find.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I will say, if I look back, at going back, I'd say I've been very close to both sexes in my career, but there's been some strong female bonds with peers, I would at
Mm-hmm.
least say. So it's not necessarily that they're in sales, because quite frankly, that's been really, really hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been like perhaps somebody in operations, that's a
Okay.
female that I've been able to have a very close relationship with within my company to have that balance.
Mm-hmm. I so resonate with the piece about the family. I think a lot of it has to do with how you were raised, who you had around you, and then seeking those relationships and that support as you start growing and understanding what you need more of. But we could take this so many different directions. You said so many amazing things. I wanted to touch on the sales aspect since that's something you've been involved with for
Sure.
a long time, because I know a lot of women struggle with the sales piece of I don't want to come off too strong. It's hard for me to self-promote. And that's something that I run into a lot, especially with my clients as we're talking about being visible and speaking, all of that. It's like, oh, I have to ask for the sale. And it's interesting because not all women feel that way. It's different. Everyone's different, right? But what is your perspective in terms of your experience in the realm of sales and women?
Um, I think that the corporate world is based off of male energy, right? Like it's
Mm,
like no matter where we are today, like the system is male.
hmm
And so unfortunately, as women, there are areas we need to flex into that world, but then
Yeah.
use our strengths as women to know the difference. And this is what I would say in sales. I would say women historically have very high emotional intelligence, right? Like we
Mm,
can feel the
yeah.
room, we know what's going on. So use that to your advantage, but lean into the aspects of the corporate world that are male, right? And so,
Mm,
like, part of being emotionally intelligent is also sometimes mirroring energy, right? Like, you just have to do
mhm.
that. And like, especially in sales, sales is all about relationships,
Right.
right? And you have to mirror what's going on there. And also, it's very important in sales to take control, right? And
Mhm.
if you're a female and you're struggling to do that, like that is what is required of the
Right.
profession. And it is required having to harness some male energy around being your own advocate. Like at the end of the day, nobody in this world is responsible for your own happiness or success in life but yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And as uncomfortable as that may feel, you must be your own advocate. And that is
Absolutely.
just a fact of life.
It is.
And that is
Mm,
why men have perhaps sometimes gotten further, is because they're more comfortable advocating for themselves. Because
yeah.
I always used to joke that like women need to feel, in order to feel comfortable, we need to have like 80% of the facts, whereas men can have 30% of the facts,
Right.
right? And
hmm
so like maybe meeting in the middle a little bit. right, on that. But you you have to just practice doing it and
Yeah.
start doing it. And then it'll, I think, feel more and more natural. Or maybe it won't. And then this is not the right profession.
Right.
But I think there are many amazing qualities that women have that can make them excellent salespeople.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, that was such a great answer. It's like playing on our natural strengths just based on how we're wired and understanding what the system is and what is required of us. It's, trial and error, practice, getting better at it. It's a skill that we get to develop.
Hmm.
And like you said, and maybe if it's not, then something that you're leaning into or that is natural for you, then it may not be the line of work. But I think for a lot of women, it's just a sense of leaning into that advocacy. Like I said, I love that so much.
Well, I would
Let's talk
also,
more about Frame. Oh, go ahead.
really quick, one thing I would add is in sales, what makes a good seller is being good with relationships, as I alluded to earlier. But relationships
Hmm.
doesn't mean
Yeah.
women what it means for men. I find for men or at least
Mm.
in the old world it could be taking somebody out to dinner and wowing them, right? But like a relationship, especially in today's day and age where people are so busy and they're under so much stress, it really is around like
Hmm.
what is it that makes this person tick? Where are they under pressure? And how can you help make their job better? And by listening to them and by asking
Right.
more and more questions and digging deeper,
Hmm.
like that's where women can lean in more because inherently, like women are oftentimes very good at that. Then, everyone complains their husband never listens to them,
Yeah.
right? Like, so
Right.
like I think that that's where you can have a killer instinct because you can build that trust by building that relationship around
Hmm.
the I always say the give get of a relationship, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Being perceptive and
Yeah.
intuitive, all of those things. I love that. Thank you so much for that. But let's talk more about Unframe. I'd love to hear more about, beginnings of it, what it all is. Tell me more details.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Would you like to be my next guest on the Empowered Woman podcast? Do you have a story you'd like to share? Want more visibility for your business on a show ranked in the top 0.5% in the world? Well, then head on over to martasburg.com/podcast guest for more information.
So the company was founded in 2024. Our
Okay.
founders had all previously worked together at a company called No Name Security. Our CEO and co-founder was the CTO and co-founder of No Name that sold to Akamai for about a half a billion a couple of years ago. And so they were multi-time operators, knew what they were doing, which was very, very important to me as I was looking for the next thing for a multitude of reasons.
Hmm.
And we're able to secure capital from tier one investors like Bessemer and Kraft, among others. And really, the problem statement has been how can we provide value to the enterprise? In a world where so much is being taken from the enterprise, how can we
Hmm.
provide value and how can we do that fast? And in a fast moving world of AI, it's really hard to cut through the noise and understand what's different out there. And our approach I find to be fundamentally different. So we sit down with a customer, we try to understand big business problems that they have, operational pain that they need to cut out of the business and drive savings around. And we instead of solving the whole giant thing at once, we'll take the first bite of the apple and we will provide something that is production ready for them to try in a matter of days. So, not
Nice.
weeks, not months, not years. And only when they're happy with what we've built do we go to commercials. And when we do, it's very simple. It's per solution per year. We don't have gotchas. And so that goes back to some of the conversation earlier where we want to be a steward of our customers and providing them value. And our platform and how we've built our solution is ultimately what allows us to do that. So you can think about it as like custom SaaS, but it's solving a bigger
Hmm.
problem within the organization.
Okay. Any specific client stories that come to mind that you'd like to share in terms of transformation of what they were experiencing
Sure. I
before they
think
came to you?
Cushman and Wakefield is one of our customers, large real estate company, and they are on a path to transform how their brokers do work every day.
Mm.
And so we've worked with them on numerous different things, starting with lease abstraction, which seems like something simple, but it's actually something very hard to abstract
Mm.
data, tons and tons of documents at high fidelity. And we've done that and now have made it more proactive. And again, I talk about the first bite of the apple, and now we've been adding more and more and more on top of it so that we're now transforming the day in the life of a broker, right? And it's not just the lease part, but we start with the lease part, prove that value, and then expand very
Mm.
quickly over time so that you get adoption within the org, which is really hard right now when there's so many tools out there.
That's wonderful. I love that. So for anyone listening, who is the person that would be the ideal to work with you guys? Like, and how can they connect and what are the first
Yeah.
steps?
So it's many different parts of an organization. Sometimes we'll come in with the transformation arm because they sit nicely between the business and the tech teams. Sometimes it'll be the business itself, the person with the problem. And sometimes it will be the technical teams that know they can't solve everything on their own and they need a solution that sits alongside of them and not outside of them.
Okay, sounds great. And they can find information just going on the website,
Yeah.
scheduling a
Unframe,
call. Tell us more.
unframe.ai, or they can reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Okay,
Um, and we'd love to talk to them.
awesome. And I know you guys are really hiring. Tell us more about career opportunities.
We are hiring like crazy across all departments. Of course, selfishly, I want the best sales candidates and managers of sellers to reach out. But we're hiring across North America, EMEA, APAC, and would love to speak to the right folks.
Amazing. So they can find more information on the website as well. I'll
Yes.
make sure and put that in the show notes. Earlier, you talked about the nuances of also being a mom and being a mom myself. I definitely resonate with that piece as well. Tell us about, the elusive balance and how things have evolved as you built your career.
It's so funny. I think that we as women were told there was a big push, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago to be told we can do it all, right? As
Mm-hmm.
women started coming up in the workforce.
Yeah.
And I found the last couple of years that's just a fallacy. And
Mm-hmm.
like it's really unfair to tell yourself you can have it all. And I think
Mm-hmm.
you're setting yourself up for failure and
Yeah.
disappointment by thinking you can.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are different types in your life or in your week where certain priorities will like take over others. And so that's how you balance it or have it all, right? And
Yeah.
it's about life choices. Like I decided to be a crazy person and go to a Series A startup with a 9-month-old baby at home. And it was an interesting decision. I think for me, what works is I work remotely for some of the time and I'm on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And the decision was like I could probably take a job that I could mail it in, but then I won't be happy. And then what kind of mother would I be? And so it's the balance
Yeah.
of happiness. I can't tell you that getting on a plane gets any easier. It's only easier when I'm gone, when
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually gone. It's harder to leave every single time.
Yeah.
And so I can't say that I figured it out or cracked the code. I think I'd be lying about that. I'm lucky enough to have lots of help and support that I need to make it happen, or I wouldn't have been able to do it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there are trade-offs and decisions that you have to make, and it's not easy, and nor is it fair.
Mm-hmm.
But back to my easier comment, or my comment before, it's life, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just the way that it is. Hmm. That's so good. And I resonate with all of that as well. So, companies growing, hiring, what's next? What are you looking forward to personally or professionally for you?
Think I'm looking forward to watching the AI race continue and evolve. I find it to just be so exciting.
Mm,
And the
yeah.
amount we can continue to do every single day is just thrilling. As a company, I'm excited to keep growing, um, which is just so fun to watch. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Just keep on going.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Well, before I remind you, or you have people remind us how to connect with you personally, like you said on LinkedIn and also the website. I like asking all of my guests my million-dollar question. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Jacqueline, what is an empowered woman to you?
Oh, that is such a good question.
Mhm.
I think an empowered woman is one that trusts herself.
Mm, yeah, so true. It's plain and simple.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so good. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing all your empowerment, actually. All of the words that you said were very real, but also very encouraging. And so is your journey. Tell us again how people can find more about the company and also how to connect with you.
Yeah, go to unframe.ai. That's our website. And then my LinkedIn, you can see my name spelled here. It's my parents decided to not make it the easiest in the world. And so feel free to reach out. Fortunately, there's not many of us in the world, so it should be easy to find me on
Yes,
LinkedIn.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today. This was really, really empowering, and I'm excited for the future.
Thank you. Great to speak with you.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.